Yo, BQuanchi here at it again, doing another tier list video, and another one for Pokemon. I did a previous tier list for Pokemon Gen 1, and now I'm moving on to Gen 2. I'm going to put links in the description for the exact tier list I used for this video, so if you want to use it yourself. Also check out the previous one, and all that. But yeah, ranking the Pokemon from Gold and Silver, and these are ones that are introduced, so I'm not going to do both first two generations, but just new Pokemon. At the time, it's a long time ago, almost ancient history, but doing tier list for Gen 2 Pokemon. So let's get started. So kind of similar to my first one, I am going to rank the starters highly. My theory, like my mindset when it comes to Pokemon, the evolutions are better than the base stages and all that. So for the starters, most of them are going to be in the A rank, but I'm going to put the third stage evolution and the S rank. And yeah, they did some really fun stuff with these generations. I do like how they had introduced Meganim as like the first which one? The new Pokemon Snap, when you get the really glowy, like almost like boss stage. I kind of like the new Pokemon Snap. That was a fun moment. Typhlosion. I really like in the Pokemon Legends how they added the ghost type to his form. I thought it was really interesting because in this one he's just a fire type. But I have to say my favorite is Feraligatr. I do like Totodile. I almost wanted to put him in the S rank just because he's so cute. I really like his design as well. I'm going to start with that way. And then I don't like Sentret. Even for it. Normal types kind of get low rankings, and like unevolved forms get low ranking. Even Hoot Hoot. Oh, my favorite birds. I don't like the bugs in this generation. Probably my least favorite bug Pokemon. Well, we get to see some cool ones later, but the first like bugs you see early on in the game. So a lot of them are gonna be these. Even the evolutions, because I'm not too much a bug type, but there are some really cool ones we do see in this game and later ones. Crobat, because this is the first new evolution, so the evolution of Golbat. I'm going to give it a B on that. And then you have... I'm double checking the names as well. Like, it's funny when you kind of grow up. I know Generation 1 by heart, but I just want to double check. Chinchou or Chinchu. I think it's really interesting that added a water electric type. So I think in Gen 2 they started to break out with some cool combinations of typing. So I'll give him a C, and then Lantern a B was my instinct. I was thinking A, but I go to B. Pichu, kind of funny because now we get into the babies, like the baby forms of Pokemon. I don't care for babies that much. Probably gonna rank them mostly low, but for Pichu, just because he's in Smash, I'm gonna give him a B. But Cleffa and Igglybuff, they're gonna be in D. Even Togepi, I'm gonna give him a D. I know he had some fun moments in anime and all that, but a normal type baby. I think he gets a fairy. It wasn't in Gen 2 that they had fairy types, but what is Togetic or double check? Yeah, Togetic. Even though they also introduced an evolved form, Togekiss. I'm slipping over my words, but I'm going to give him a B. And then we have Natu. Just because it's interesting, like having a flying psychic type at the time, I'm going to give this one a C and the evolved form a B. Then we'll Reap, cute design. I know it's unevolved, but I'm going to go C, B, then A. I believe this is the first time we had an electric type that had 3 stages of evolution, which I thought was really cool as well. And kind of fun designs. I know, what's his name? Ampharos. It gets a Mega Evolution as well, even though I'm not doing much with that. Then we have Blossom, Bellisum, whatever I want to say it. I'm gonna give a C. I know it's a third stage, but I don't just because it's so tiny and all that, just being a plain grass type. I don't know. I don't use that much. It's just kind of like a cute, kind of a weird. Like I would prefer Vileplume over this one evolution for Gloom. Then we have Meryl. I remember back in the day, this was people calling like, oh, this is Pika Blue. This is like the mysterious one, the new Pikachu. I think this is what you call a Pikachu for this generation. Every like generation has its own like Pikachu, like even this water, and they eventually added Fairy to it. But I'm gonna give it a C in the evolved form. Azumarill, a B, and then I'm gonna give that a C. The rock type, I don't really care too much for the rock tree, so I'll see in my book. And then Politoed, also gonna give it a C. Because that's another split evolution for Poliwhirl. He can become Poliwrath or Politoed. And I like Poliwrath a lot more, especially as they add the fighting type to it. So, yeah, C for Politoed. Kind of a fun design, but it almost feels weird for a Pokemon game at the time. But, oh well. Hoppip, I'm going to give that a C. Even with it being a evolution, one that's not evolved, but it did have grass flying, which is kind of interesting typing. Skiploom, I was gonna give it a C, and then Jumpluff, you get a B. Aipom, D. Unevolved, normal typing, yeah, get out of there. It did introduce an evolved form later, but yeah, even that one I don't ever use as well. Yeah, Sunkern, I'm going to say a D, but I'm going to evolve form a C. I don't know, just kind of a boring kind of design as well for the grass type. Then we have Yanma. It does evolve. I'm actually going to rate this higher than the other bugs, give a C. I really like its shiny form, the blue color to it, so I like that a lot. Have Wooper. Cute design. I also love the water ground types. I know they kind of introduced more throughout the series. I thought it was cool, like one of the weaknesses, lightning, electric, whatever I call it, electric doesn't do any damage because it's ground typing. So I like that. So I'm going to give, actually for unevolved form, give him a B, and Quagsire, you get an A. I feel like the S tier is getting a little lonely, but the new Eeveelutions, and these are really cool because they said, oh, you can evolve Eevee, and it also based a time mechanic as well, like, oh, and friendship mechanic too, because that's where they also introduced that Pokemon can evolve based on the bond with you, so evolve forms. I'm going to give them both A as well. I also like Umbreon for a dark type, so I think these two are one of my favorites of the Eeveelutions, but not quite S tier. Then we have Mukro, and I like the dark flying. That's like a new fun type, but I'm just gonna give it a C. I do like its evolution, but about C. Slowking, you can get not to mean that, but you can get A. I like Water Psychic. I think I was like his design more than Slowbro. I kind of like his silly design as well, but Slowking's pretty cool. And I think the one they introduced in Pokemon Sword and Shield is kind of creepy, like the Poison Galarian form. But he'll get an A in my book. Atrevious, I'm gonna give C. I like how they have a ghost type that's just ghost type versus the previous generation it's ghost poison, which kind of undoes the benefits against psychic type. I do like its evolved form a lot more as well, but that'll be C. They have Unknown, D. I'm never going to use it. I know it's kind of fun to collect them like in Pokemon Legends as well to get all of them of the alphabet. All that, but it just, you're never going to use it in battle, and it's whatever. It's kind of fun mystery, but I'm not going to use that. So, and Wobbuffet, you get a D as well. I don't know, it might be good competitive wise. I never want to use him, all that, but kind of interesting. I just remember being annoying in the anime and also in Smash Bros. When you get him out of the Pokeball, but whatever. Girafarig, I'm saying that. I'm going to see. It's Psychic Normal, which is kind of neat as well because the normal type makes it immune to ghost attacks. and kind of like the design with the back end being like all dark and weird and different, all that. So, what does it see? You have Pineco, Bug. I'll give you a D. Fortress is kind of interesting because it had Bug and Steel. So I'm going to rate this a little bit higher. I'm even going to do a B, so my highest for this video, Bug type as well. Dunsparce. I like the design, but it's going to be a D. A normal type. I kind of wish they would do like an evolution or something more with it, but I think I won't. Besides filling my Pokedex, I'm never going to use them, so definitely a D. Gligar. I'm going to give it a B. I know it has an evolution, which is better, but that's introduced in Gen 4, I believe. But ground flying is a very interesting type as well, because flying is weak to electric, but then ground type makes him immune to electric as well. So I put him as a B. And then we have Steelix. I'm going to put Steelix in A. Good evolution of Onix. A pretty fun one, but I really not much to say. It has a cool Mega Evolution as well, but definitely deserves an A. Have Snubble. I'm going to give it a D. And at the time when Gold and Silver first came out, it was just normal type, but then they changed it to Fairy. This Evolution, Gramble, I'm going to give it a B. Coolfish, I'm going to give it a D. I'm not going to use it. I know it's like water poison, so it's not just a water type, but it's kind of a boring fish. They did make an evolution in Pokemon Legends, but not really my favorite. Kind of my least favorites when it comes to the water type. Scizor, love Scizor a lot. You're going to go in A. Even though it's super weak against fire because it's Bug Steel. But I really like Scyther as well, so definitely gets to A for me. Shuckle, I'll give you a C. I think it's one of the Pokemons with the highest defense stat of all time. Or very high up there. I really need to have like a Rock Bug. I wish I would give him like an evolution or something to make it more interesting. And all that. Next we have Heracross. I'm going to also give this an A. Because also Bug Fighting seems like a fun combination as well. It does also have a Mega Evolution. Very fun little Pokemon design. I don't like Scizor gets the... A Scyther gets like the benefit. Like Scyther has 2 evolutions and then all that. But Heracross is a fun one. Sneasel. I like... very few dark types that they introduced. Well, probably not too few, but I like the dark typing. I like his evolution that they introduced later, so I'm going to put it as a B. Because you don't see too many ice and too many dark, so I like that combination as well. Teddy Ursa. Because it's unevolved, I do like my teddy bears. I like my bears. I'm going to give it a B. Even though I don't prefer... the normal typing and Ursa Ring. I'm gonna rank you higher because you're a bear, but normal type, so I give you an A. I like its new evolution that they introduced in Legends a lot more, so I wonder if we're gonna see those kind of evolutions in the future games, since you know, it's like a prequel but in the past, but we see all these new Pokemons we haven't seen before. Slugma, well, more like Slugma Nuts. I actually don't see too many fire types in this generation, so I'm just because it's unevolved, I'm gonna give it a C. But I do like its evolved form to add rock type to it, even though it adds more weakness to water. But it does change things up, so I'm gonna give Mascargo an A rank. Swinub, I'm gonna give it a B. I really like the design, having ground ice, like another ice type that's adding to the little ice rank. I'll give it a B, but the evolution an A. But I do like the Pillow Swine that they introduced in Gen 4 a lot more. Corsola, unfortunately a D. I like the water rock typing, but I don't know. I just don't like using this Pokemon. The Galarian form has an evolution as well, which is kind of neat. But No, you're gonna stay in D. I was gonna rank it a little bit higher. Then we got Remoraid, also D. Kind of a boring fish Pokemon. His evolution is really weird because it looks nothing like it but artillery. I'll just give it a C. It's kind of a boring one. But it's okay. Diddlybutt's kind of a fun one. I'm not sure if it's too gamey because I don't really use it that much. I just think about like, oh, he has a present special move. I'm gonna give it a C. Maybe that's a little lower than he deserves, but hasn't appealed to me that much. A Mantine. I'm gonna give it a B. Water flying is kind of neat as well. Although I didn't like it too much with Gyarados because I want Gyarados to be Water Dragon. That was in my previous tier list, but yeah, it's kind of a fun, cute design. It's kind of interesting that they later added a pre-evolution to it as well. But kind of a fun Pokemon. And Scamry. The Flying Steel is also kind of a cool typing. I wish you'd also do more with this Pokemon, like maybe add an evolution or something, but I'm going to give it a B. And then Houndour and Houndoom. So, one of my favorites, I like the Fire Dock as well. I'm going to give it a B, but S rank for Houndoom. So it's been a while since I got S rank, but I do like him a lot. I kind of wish we would see more of this Pokemon. But a favorite. Then we have Kingdra. You know what? Let's add another S rank. Because Water Dragon, that's a combination that seems pretty good. Probably one of my favorites of the new evolutions they added in just this generation. So I think him and Scizor, and Steelix. And some of them are kind of like Crobat is cool. And Politoed wasn't too much of a fan, but it's kind of neat to see, like, oh, they changed up previous Pokemon as well. Moving on, Phanpy. This is a ground type. I kind of like the cute little design. You get a C, and then you get a B. Porygon 2. Again, a fun new evolution. Kind of like the lore as well, but I don't really see myself using them that much. Especially for being normal type, but I'll give it a C. I feel bad about that, but I'll give it a C. Stantler, I know people like it, and it's a fun design, especially like in Pokemon Go when you see like the reindeer with the little bow and Christmas bows, but I'm never going to use you, so I do like the evolutions they introduced in Legends with the Psychic, but yeah, you get a D. And also Smirtle, D. Like, I won't ever use them, and I feel kind of bad. It does have an interesting mechanic about copying moves and learning them permanently with this very fun mechanic, but just being a normal type Pokemon that you probably never ever use, even with its fun gimmicks, it's a D. And Tyrogue, I always feel like I'm stumbling over my words with them. So Tyrogue, the pre-evolution of Hitmonchan, Hitmonlee, and Hitmontop. I feel it's kind of interesting to have a Pokemon, well, besides like Eevee that has multiple evolutions, but I'm going to give it a D. I don't see myself really using this one much at all. And Hitmontop, it's going to get a C. I think just because I like Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee so much better, and Hitmontop, I just feel design-wise just misses the mark for me. So I'm kind of disappointed with the sort of evolution of Tyrogue and kind of like an offset of Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan, so I don't care for him too much. Then more babies. I didn't like the previous babies all that much, but I don't like Smoochum. Yes, he kept sucking ice, but I don't like Smoochum, but just because I like Electabuzz and Magmar so much, I'm going to rate these two as a C. Okay, the list is getting a little tall, so scroll up and down. Miltank, a D. I'm not going to use the normal types as much, so not a big fan of Miltank. Almost seems like a useless Pokemon. But there's that meme or whatever, or like Meowth sucking on whatever udders and all that. Moving on, Blissey. I mean, even though normal, this may be one of my higher rankings for a normal type, but I'm gonna say A, just because her HP stats are like through the roof. It's really good to use in Pokemon Go if you're defending the gym. You kind of like with TMs or whatever special moves, kind of make it well-rounded. So probably the very few normal type Pokemons I would actually use. throughout the game besides just catching and filling out the Pokedex. So Blissey, kind of a fun addition, evolution of Chansey. Okay, now we get into legendaries. Let's be a quick one. They are definitely S tier. So let me get them up there. Yep. So I have to say Gen 2, because I know like each generations more or less have their trio of legendaries. And I think this one is my favorite. I really like legendary birds in Gen 1. I have to say this is my favorite for pretty much most of the games because I'm more of a dog person anyways. I really like the design. Even though the simple one-type Pokemon like electric, fire, water, I really enjoyed them enough. And especially like one gets their own version, crystal version with Suicune. So yeah, legendaries definitely hit the top of the list, and these are probably my favorite trio of legendaries. Probably some of my favorite legendaries of all time in the Pokemon franchise. Okay, and then bringing it back, we have Larvitar, Pupitar, and Tyranitar. I like them a lot, but I'm going to say C. One of my least favorite middle stage Pokemon in terms of the design, but I love Tyranitar. He's one of my favorite dark rock. I love it. He's going S for me. One of my favorite designs as well. For like, I feel like also each generation has a Pokemon that evolves with like a high level evolution, like it evolves into the third stage in the level 50s and all that. So a Dragonite, but then just generation Tyranitar, so like that. And then legendaries again, S, S, and S. I like Celebi because we don't see too much Grass Psychic besides like Execute and Executor. So for mystical Pokemon, a really fun one. And Fire Flying, even though we had that with Moltres in previous generation, but Psychic Flying, even though we did have what's his name, the little birdie down here. But I like Lugia as well. And it's kind of fun to see them in Smash. Yeah, so I think this will do it for my tier list. So comment below, like, how wrong am I, if you agree. Again, links in the description if you want to create your own tier list of Pokemon from Gen 2. Yeah, really like this person who did this one, did some good ones. I might do like Gen 2, not Gen 2, Gen 3, Gen 4, all that. But this is my list for Gen 2. Probably going to make a playlist as well, but let me know in the comments whether a tier list like outside of gaming and or inside game, whatever. So thanks so much for tuning in, and hope you all have a good day and take care. Bye.